Okay, so you gotta watch for this on the Bitcoin chart. If you want those bears to turn to bulls and you want to be there when that happens, I'm gonna show you guys exactly what I'm looking for that shift opportunity to the upside where we can start seeing new all-time highs potentially being created. Now, again, guys, just like I say in every video, this is my own opinion. I just like to share with you guys what I'm looking at and what makes sense to me. Now, everything I'm going to say in this video, though, is setting up for a very similar setup that we saw in 2024, and it's playing out pretty much as close as possible to being the same than it was last year. And this has to do with the normal historic inflows and outflows we see this time of year. And then I'm going to jump into Mara stock after that because Mara has been giving us some really, really good trade opportunities. And it's just something I like to cover very often because it's still giving us these opportunities based at least on my own charts and how I view it. And on top of that, we're also, seeing a lot of people get I don't know what's the right word, but just getting overly hyped and overly feared on Mara stock. And then I'm gonna clear that up because it's actually not as complicated as people are letting themselves to believe it. And I feel like I've cleared that up a lot in previous videos, but I'm gonna do it again today as well. But to make it super simple, if you guys look at the Bitcoin monthly returns, I'm not gonna bring it up. I showed it yesterday, and I'm not gonna bring it up every time. But normally September is known to be a fairly weak month before we enter October, and that's usually when it starts to shift. Now, in the early portions, right, and right now it is September 3rd, so we still have a little bit more time left for this first week to be over. But normally we usually see some pretty decent start to the September month, and that's what we're seeing today. Now, the way this kind of influences on what I saw last year is that this time around, everything's the same as well. We're still within this downtrend from August, which was a weak month historically as well. And it was this time around as well, but it was weak, and we're waiting for a proper retracement to the upside to have a proper correction within a bearish trend. Overall, though, we are in a bull market still. A bear market has not been confirmed at all yet, at least from what I can research, and the chart itself isn't showing any like weakness indicating that as well. But and we're still holding these support areas, but we're still in an overall uptrend with a downtrend currently in the short term, right? We're still downtrending. This pump we're seeing, all it's doing is trying to make its way up into this blue retracement area, which is a resistance area created with a fib retracement tool from all-time high, which is the current significant swing high, all the way down to the current swing low. It's giving us this area. We've been following the price down. The only time this area has actually been reached was back around this area around the 22nd. It was the 22nd of August when we saw that pump reaching the retracement. Ever since then, we continue to come down lower because we were in resistance and short-term support could not hold. So the idea was that we will come down lower. Ever since the price broke below the 0.618 in this yellow support area, I said the gap coming all the way down and closing this value gap right here, this blue rectangle, can easily happen. And we saw that. It was just, the bearish volume was just obviously in front of us. There was just no way of missing it. And I've been accumulating within this support area for quite some time. I have not added any more because now I would like to add more if we can come down into this purple area starting at 107K. Anything below that, I'm going to be adding like crazy. As of right now, I'm just letting the price come up into retracement. So the blue area. On the heat map, the liquidation heat maps for Bitcoin on major exchanges, there is a lot of pressure between like 114 and 120K, which perfectly overlaps with this area. So we have strong resistance that could potentially happen at any point. And then we can start seeing the bearish trend continue to happen throughout the rest of September. Now, the way this can potentially play out is as we continue through the first week of September, we can still see some strong bullish volume, letting things set up to then have potentially a weak last 3 weeks for the most part, basically. to finish off September, and then that can allow the price to come down, fill in the rest of this retracement, and trade within the purple short term deep value area. And you guys, if you've been watching for a while, you know I love these short term purple deep value areas. They are super, super nice to accumulate. This time, I'm pretty bad at color coding. I didn't make it purple, but this time we just bounced off of it pretty strong. And we just rallied from there. This one, we actually came into it and rallied up from there quite strong. We can just see it rally from here as well. But until we have bullish confirmation, which is price going up into retracement and coming down, holding a higher low, simple another retracement from the swing low up to however the swing high, wherever that's formed, then at that point we're just looking for a higher low to be formed and then break the swing high and go up higher. If we don't reach the blue area, chances are it's just most likely that we will not hold a higher low, and instead we can come down and start retesting these swing lows right here and potentially even actually trade within the purple briefly as well. So this blue area is very, very important when it comes to trying to create a strong potential for a higher low to be formed. Now, again, we still have quite a bit of time before September ends. Any continuation of bullish volume right now throughout this first week could easily be a bullish fake out. It can easily be a fake out. That's just how I'm viewing it. There's no reason to think it won't be, at least not yet, because we don't have any bullish confirmation. So thinking that it high probability that it will be, then it just creates a very easy setup to be disappointed, right? That's how I'm viewing it. So as of right now, I'm still looking for lower prices unless we can get that bullish confirmation in. I don't believe it will happen, but it can very much happen. As of right now, again, I'm very much looking forward to potentially coming down into this purple area, starting at 107K, and I'll be accumulating like crazy. If we go up into this blue area and we actually trade around like 115, 116, potentially actually try to hit those liquidation walls closer to 120K. So the top of the blue, I will potentially start locking in some profit on IBIT because we're pretty much flat. Although I would like to lock in some of those profits because the downside pressure at that point is very high, and I will start to accumulate them at the, let's just say the price gets close to 120, for example, just as an estimate. Then I'll be looking to accumulate within short-term support and then finish accumulating within the purple. But as of right now, until we have that, then I'm not going to force any trades, right? This is super important. This is very, very important to watch, to keep an eye on, because this area could just be another lower high from this downtrend. Like, we have to break the swing high to really have a good idea if we're going to hold a higher low or not. But as of right now, there's just no reason to be overly optimistic, and instead prepare for potential lower prices until the chart proves us otherwise. It's as simple as that, right? We got to keep an eye on, retracement. Just because we're pumping up right now does not mean the low is in. We need further confirmation for that, and I will keep you guys updated on that. I'm just trying to keep things realistic. There's nothing worse than being overly hyped and then forgetting a lot of other things, like this time of year, September is usually bearish. It's just something to keep an eye on. And then on top of that, it's like, well, even if we go up higher, we're still within an overall retracement, which can easily act as strong resistance. We're still in this downtrend. We have not confirmed that this downtrend is done just yet. Until then, until we confirm it, I am looking for prices within this purple area. Briefly, if we break into this purple area, we chances are we probably will not be in it for very long. So I'll be taking advantage of it, and this is going to be a really, really great opportunity for like last minute buying as well. Now, when it comes to Mara stock, like this is something I've been talking about so much, right? So much, where no matter how much optimism or fear there is in the market, it does not matter. We have to pay attention to what's happening in the chart right now itself, which is that the price is consolidating sideways within an overall support area, right? What this means is that we're waiting for the price to have a sustained break of structure into either direction. Rather, it's going to hold support and start going up higher, Or, and that's very much possible, we have this overall retracement area that has not, even if none of you think, and it absolutely doesn't have to, but if none of you think that Mara stock will not go back into the 20s this year, it that's fine. It's absolutely fine. But we have not reached this retracement area around, the median being around $18. We have not reached that area yet. So a break of structure upward is very much likely, and it's fit. At that point, like, there's no reason to be overly optimistic. Maybe lock in some profit. Maybe start looking at this as a potential higher low for a downtrend that could be forming, right? Until then, until this proves to be weak, there's just no reason to think it can't potentially go up higher. But again, this zero point 0.5 retracement at $18 is looking very, very attractive. But the thing is, until we have a break of structure sustainably in either the upside or to the downside, there is nothing wrong with taking advantage of this sideways fluctuation, right? It started off very narrow and now it's widening, making these blue resistance and support levels, very attractive. What we're seeing right now is that, we're seeing Bitcoin trying to form a bottom. It's just, it's forming some bullish momentum. And in the overall market, there's a lot of mixed news as well. So on top of that, we're seeing some consolidation within the premium section of this sideways channel. That does not mean anything for me, right? This is very, very much likely, as long as we're continuing to hold the sideways channel, unless we can hold a break of structure above the support line. Like right here, we broke over it. We tried holding that support. It failed. We got to see it hold a support and actually have candles break above whatever swing high is created. We just haven't seen that. So until that happens, the idea is that any premium trading within this channel, so again, support being basically just above $15, a few cents above $15, and then resistance being a few cents above 16.20. So the idea here is to trade long and shorts and have very strict SLs. SLs can easily be the extreme side of the swing on either direction. So like here, or you can even use this one or this one. And then TPs being the support and resistance themselves. Now, this is just my support and resistance lines. You can create your own. But as of right now, I drew these well before these fluctuations right here happened. And as you can see, they're actually holding quite valid. So I'm going to stick with them. It just makes sense to me. As of right now, we've had 3 chances to prepare to take shorts. And now we're just waiting to see what is up. What's going to happen. So as of right now, because we don't have a break of structure to the upside, I'm still believing, I said this yesterday, I still believe that we will revisit the support level down here. This creates an opportunity for shorts anywhere above anywhere above $15.68. Ideally in the low 16s. These shorts can be looking at potential TP, take profits, in the low $15, somewhere below $15.20. And then from there, looking for any weakness of potential volume change, where you can see a short-term bottom forming, looking at where the RSI is at as well, because this RSI can start to switch super quick, and then that can allow those shorts to take profit here, and then we can start looking at long opportunities at that low $15 range, ideally high 14s if we can actually stretch low enough to there. And then again, simple SL being the extreme side of the swing right here. And so, for example, this one is at 1450, but you can be conservative with it on these hourly candles and use like 1466, for example. But regardless of that, is that, long opportunities here with take profits being the top of this channel at resistance. And then it's just continuing the long and shorts opportunities with tight SLs. Like, rather you're trading contracts or the equity itself, it's so important to hit, fill those limit orders. Like, don't rely on yourself not to be greedy or hopeful or anything like that. Just set your SLs limits, say your SL, take your TPs on limit orders. Just let the trade do its thing, and just, like, forget about it. There's no reason to fight this if we're seeing these areas get, filled so well. Like, just let the trade do its thing. It's as simple as that. So as of right now, because there's nothing else telling me otherwise, I do believe that regardless of us testing resistance right here 3 times and we haven't been able to hit support, it does not mean that support won't be broken. As of right now, I strongly believe that any continuation testing resistance is just an opportunity to pay attention to potential short opportunities, with TP being at the support line down here. It's as simple as that. And then once we're at support, um, and those shorts are profited, they're locked in, then it may be a good idea to start looking at some longs. I'm just saying, it may be a good idea to start looking at some longs, with TP being the top of the channel resistance. It's as simple as that. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. At any point, Bitcoin does not have to reach this blue area because we are not done yet, and we are still going throughout September. We can see weakness form at any point. Once that weakness forms, any small weakness in Bitcoin, I've said this many times before too, any small weakness in Bitcoin can easily amplify in Mara. We can see the support area. We can see those 14, we can see 1450 to like 1490, for example, 1495, whatever. We can see that range get filled very easily. We can be in the bottom of this channel very, very soon, very easily. And then from there, those long opportunities pop up after closing out those shorts, right? So yeah, hopefully this video made sense, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.